Right, and there we are. The recording's on. Okay. Just thought I'd do a quick video there, an update on all that's going on. So the yesterday we did actually have our PMA meeting last night, even though it was a late link. Although the link is now in the members area. So when you go into the members area, go on to the recorded webinars, and you can see the link for the future one as well. So if you've worried about the link or had a problem with the link, it's in the area as well for the members. But the reason why I sent it out late, like last night, started at past. I didn't actually get the link out until 7 because I didn't get here in the house till 7. So I was at Crown Court all day. I left the house at about 8 a.m. in the morning, and then I'll have to drive for over an hour to actually get to the court. We expected it to be quite not long anyway, but it just went on and on and on. Most of it waiting for stuff to happen, and then the judge wanting his lunch as well. But it is what it is. But everything's draining as well. I mean, these buildings are there to drain your energy. They're not great places. We're working out like the angles of the buildings to see what kind of black magic that they're putting on people. But it's just a dark, hideous energy, isn't it? And it's a horrible place, and they're all walking around in that black, But I was there to help this guy. Right, 5 times Mr. Universe. All right, 5 times Mr. Universe. That's like an amazing achievement. And then an old boxer moved in from boxing to bodybuilding, 5 times Mr. Universe, and then went in from bodybuilding into strongman competitions, won England's strongest man. And also, even though had an injury, still competed in the world's strongest man with a terrible injury. So a fantastic guy. And anyway, so I was assisting him. All right. And another guy was there as well, helping out, just like moral support and everything, but it's a fellow gym owner as well. So he's got a gym down in Hartlepool in the Cleveland area, and it's got a fantastic gym. So if you ever want to go down, give me a bell. I'll give you the directions to get yourself along there. It's got a nice boxing ring in there as well, a nice MMA octagon, so you want to get in there, all right, and get a good workout in there. That would be good, as well as all the machines and everything like this. So anyway, that's what we were doing yesterday, and helping a fellow man out, living in a man's world. Yeah, not any, keyboard warriors or gonna go behind little videos. But working on, I didn't get in till 7, so I was out from 8 in the morning until 7 at night. Very, very long, tiring day, but still there to try and I know that I'm there to give him all the support in the world, that is needed in times of need. And I know for a fact he would do exactly the same for me. And that's the way it is when you look after each other. See, honorable, when you're being honorable, being a man, another honorable man. Now, I just want to do a little update on what I've been studying and reading on this core trust protectors. Right now, this isn't something that I actually use or anything like that. I don't do this, okay, but it's just a topic where somebody was actually bullying a woman. Okay, now if you're being a bullying a woman online or offline, whatever, then you were a scrawny little coward. And so I actually said exactly what was happening. Somebody bullying a woman. Now, if you're the type that support other people bullying women, and you've got a bloke bullying women, right, then just stay out my way. But me, I'm not going to watch someone bully a woman, right, and try and cherry pick topics to make it look as if he's mega clever, All right, very, very cowardly. But and it's not, fair enough. It's nothing to do with me, right? I hadn't like said to use protectors in trusts or anything like that. What it is I actually have contacts where if we come across clients that have got over 1.5 million that they want to put into a trust, and they have like high corporation tax, for instance, and have high income, then there's companies that we have contacts with that we will pass on the information. Obviously, we'd make sure that it was all true information before we passed you on to speak to them. And they use like limited companies to set the trustees up. Then they use another limited company to be a protector, which is separate from the others. All right. So, but we had a discussion with them with the topics, and we showed them it online, and we discussed it with them. Which is exactly what we did. So that, you know, and if you know of anyone that has assets that they want to put in trust that high, I mean, you know, it's a high-end client and it's a high-end costs involved, but you know, that's what they would expect anyway, then we can pass that on. So bear that in mind. Anyone has anyone, all right, then that's the way to go. And also we have, it's a very similar setup for a trust, right? For let's just call it like not that high, right? So if we said that was a premiership, then we can drop it down to like, you know, the first division, and then there's lower fees when you don't have to have, you know, like 1.5 million going upwards. And they do the same type of thing. They have a limited company that would be the trustees and running the thing. They would also have another limited company which acts as a protector. Okay, so and that's the setup that they use. And then you would be named as a beneficiary only when necessary, then not named when necessary. It's all about being private, and they're registered trusts, but privately registered. These people have been doing this for over 30 years. They are top level barristers and lawyers and deal with trust law, and this is how they have it set up. So, you know, I trust them emphatically on how they've actually got things up. So if anybody knows of anyone or is of that, I mean, the lower level, you know, you should be looking at, you want to be putting in about 100,000 a year in assets, and then they can deal with the complicated tax issues to assist you. Be very helpful. All right, and we can pass them on, and then, you know, they can actually deal with you personally, directly. All right. So, and that's the way that they use it. But the protection thing, right, which I don't do, but on mine, I created mine for myself, my trust, I did it. Like many courses, many different books, and then studying in courses for about 3 years to actually create this private trust for my, well, actually, do you know what it is? I haven't even got any assets, I have to admit, and I've never had any since 2007, when you know, everybody should know. It's not a sob story, not bothered. You know, we actually like were running a very successful martial arts school, and through that built up a property portfolio. You know, and you know, I had worked as a mortgage broker, so I knew the score, and we were in with these big property groups, and you know, you could get properties with no money down, that type of thing, and you know, it was very lucrative at the time. But I think all staged really so that it could all pop the bubble and burst. So like, you know, we lost everything, like, you know, over $1 million in property that we had, and I've never ever wanted an asset since then. I've never put my name to anything. Even when we were in Spain, the car that we actually had, it was what they call like a rent to buy. So the guy that run it was a very good scheme. People would rent the cars off him, looking at like in a couple of years later, then they would buy it. But the state of living in Spain, right, most people left very quickly. So me, a year to 18 months, 2 years, and they'd be gone. So he got all that money and he still had the car. That's the way it worked. So it was quite a surprise to him when we were still there. All right, 6 years later, and obviously we didn't have to pay any more money after like the first couple of years because it was ours then. But you know, but with it being Spanish and being registered there, no, you don't pay car tax or anything like that there. But it wasn't in my name. All right, so there was nothing to attach me to anything, and that's the way it's always been since coming back. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually have a look. Let me have a look now. and share a screen. Okay. All right. So this is like on one website here, and as we say, it's just going to the trust protectors. Okay, the role continues to evolve, which is exactly what I was saying. All right, when people go cherry picking their actual information. All right. So let's just read what this says here. It says the trust protector's role. Look, if we see it there highlighted, is relatively new in modern trusts. Generally, trust protectors provide oversight of certain decisions and allow for a degree of flexibility not easily accommodated by the traditional parties to a trust. Although the trust protector's role can be very useful, the role is not precisely defined, which is what I was saying. It's not precisely defined. For attorneys, drafters, settlers, and trustees alike, ambiguity in defining the role can be difficult and challenging, and be a difficult challenge, forgive me, because statutes among the states are diverse, inconsistent, and arguably incomplete. There is a dearth of domestic case law, interpreting state statutes and identifying whether the trust protector is a fiduciary or not, and it can be problematic. So that is what I was saying. The law is very ambiguous. Okay, it is it is a little bit strange, the law. And all right, so like the law itself is a little bit sort of like up and down, and there is many different aspects to it. When others say that they pick one website that says something, and then you go on to another website that says something completely different. And I've found this especially on here. So I'm going to do this again. There's another one. Where is it now? On this one here. Share this one. I've highlighted it. Okay. So, it's got the role of a protector is not defined by statute or case law, and can be as limited or as wide as a settler wants it to be. There is no law. That's what I was saying. There is no case law. It's very strange, so you cannot say there is a black and white, because there isn't. There is nothing black and white when we're talking about this. Okay, so the settler may select any person, including a company or foundation, to be a protector of the trust, if appointing a protector at the outset. Alternatively, the settler may, under the terms of the trust, give someone else or herself a power to select a protector at some later date. The protector may be a professional or a lay person, including a beneficiary, a settler, committee, individuals, or others. It's very, very wide open to interpretation, which is exactly what I was saying. There is absolutely no black and white law that this must be it. Boom. It's very confusing, right? It could be this, it could be that, could be anybody. It actually states on there another one. It can be anybody, but maybe not a trustee. But it doesn't say that on the other ones. And the other ones, it says point blank, it can be anyone. Just read it. That is the point that I was making, right? And when I'm making that point, I'm only making it because somebody's trying to bully a woman, which is very unchivalrous and very cowardly to do. Okay, so that's why I said it. Don't go and point blank say that is the law, rock solid, black and white, and that's the way it must be, right? And try and use that cherry-picked point. I can find you a website right now that will say it must not be this, right? Which is completely different to the other ones, right? So they're arguing about it, and they actually say there is no case law at all to back up what it should or shouldn't be. So if there's no case law, then how are you going to actually define it? You can write it down in your own trust, and you being the settler, the creator, and you actually make your own law, which you should do. And then you express, right, your own law as man or woman. It said her on there. Did you notice that? All right. So that's what I was making the point of. I don't care what anyone says about me. I don't really give a monkey's about anything, right? But at the end of the day, when people have to cope, I'm not going to do arguing or going on there. I'm doing it, making the point, and showed you the actual lawful, legal world where these information comes from. And then when I was asking the barristers, which in Bond Street in Mayfair. You know, like, I mean, the rent, oh my God, to be in these buildings. I don't think they own it, because they said all of those buildings all around there are all held in private trust, everything. And they were saying it is a very grey area, and they actually use a limited company, a specifically set up limited company for this, be a protector. All right. They also have a set up limited company to be the trustee. That's the way it is. So that's how they actually use it. Now they said, and these top barristers, and they said, well, you know, you could be anybody, any one of the, you know, of the roles around, but it's such a grey area, and it can cause, if you've done it in well, they didn't actually specifically say, in such a way, it can cause a lot of headaches in tax, and a lot of these are getting set up to help you with tax situations. So you know, it have to be extremely complicated and go in and find it. But you know, that's not what this was all about. I don't, you know, at the end of the day, I don't know, right, these people, but I just don't like seeing people bullying anyone, especially bullying a young girl. Okay, and if you've got a point to make about anything legal side, then you should be getting on with it, not bullying people online, trying to bully little girls online. All right, it's just not on. Okay, so you know, at the end of the day, I am what I am, and I walk in the world that I walk in, and I deal with the people that I deal with when I'm going to other people's gyms and working out in these MMA cages and these boxing rings. So everybody can find me easily enough if everybody, right, had something to say. But people bump into each other, don't they, all the time? So you should be careful what you actually say, shouldn't you? But you definitely shouldn't be going around bullying girls. I mean, if you think it's good to go around bullying, you know, young women, girls, whatever you want to call it, I don't mean that in a disrespectful way, but you know, a young woman, a young lady, it's not chivalrous, it's not clever, and it doesn't make anything except being a coward, right? Which is why I had actually said stop doing that. And at that one point, that's the only, I just picked up that one point because that's what he was saying. Oh, she said this, she said that about being a protector. Well, there you are. It's such a grey area. All right. There is no set black and white law, and there is no case law to back it up either. So, which is what I said. Don't bully her by doing something like that. All right. So there is written, there's a few different law sites that I went onto. I think you've got one on Wikipedia, which I don't really trust Wikipedia, but it actually states that as well, similar about like it being very ambiguous. Okay. All right. Which is just the point I'm making. Whatever else happens doesn't bother me, what in the least. But, you know, at least I know I'm not going around bullying and picking on young ladies. All right. So, yesterday, right? So you can imagine this guy that I was with, he was just trying to help people out as well. You know, that's why we've ended up being, I mean, I've gone along at kind of at the last minute, really, to try and help him out, but support the guy. Can you imagine that? Going 5 times Mr. Universe, and I think it was 5 years on the trot. All right. I have to research what Arnold Schwarzenegger did, but I'm pretty sure that that's at least as good, if not better. But then to go on, you know, and win England's strongest man and get into like the world's strongest man competitions is just a phenomenal achievement in career. So I was there to help him, you know, see how things went on for him. And we're going to go back again. We have to go back again in March. So I'm not going to go in about details about the case. You shouldn't be saying anything anyway about the cases, but you know, we'll sort it out and we'll see what we can do from there. So right now, you know, I'm not going to be going. This is Friday now. I was away, like, didn't get in till 7. Had the PMA meeting last night. Next week when we go on the PMA meeting, right, we're going to go back to the debt side and talking about them the banks, how they actually create the credit, and then go and how to actually save yourself from them. So we're going to go back and start doing that again, rather than the trust stuff that we were doing this week and last week. Okay, but so the PMA meetings are on the Thursday night. I have another PMA meeting that I attend, which is with a big American group on the Tuesday evening, as well as like this other course that I'm doing, which is all about equity and all about trusts, to try and just learn more and more and more. You can never stop learning, all right? And if you try and think that you know everything, even right, if you look at it on the martial arts side, okay, I have been competing and everything and training and fighting and whatever, like since 1969, believe it or not. So no way in the world, because people say things like, oh, you're a martial arts expert. I'm not, right? And I don't see it as that. And people say that you're I know that you have a master in martial arts, all right? But the for the titles and everything, we just never use that. And I would never say, no matter what, like being an expert in martial arts or anything like that, and you're always progressing, always learning, and you're studying. That's what you do. You study the art, okay? And it is an art, all right? Even, to knock someone out, there is an art to it, okay? But so that's the same with studying either contract law or trusts, and the law in general, which is I went to night school to study law, and then I did not take the exam for it, didn't want to, but and then got the certificate for like qualification of paralegal, which is nothing, it wouldn't do any good to anything, but I did get the actual qualification for the paralegal. But you just got to continue studying all the time, all right? And nothing will stop me doing that, and nothing will stop me assisting others and passing on information that I can learn. At the end of the day, right, it's very strange, like that people would say, oh, they're just passing on information that they've learned. It's now when you go to school and the teacher's sitting in school and they're teaching you to read and write, how do they know they're teaching you to read and write? Well, they're only showing you what somebody taught them. Isn't that correct? So when I'm going and I'm learning things and then I pass it on to other people, yes, I am passing on and sharing what a knowledge share of what I have learned. So is that not a good thing? So I'm trying to help others by like showing them, the what I have been learning and what I've been studying and what I've, invested money in, and, fear, or be whatever it is. But then I have the ability then, and, now that I have actually, got that knowledge, it is my property, because I've paid for that course and I've took that on, and then it's like I can do whatever it is that I want. I can share it with you, or I can hide it in the cupboard. My choice. So nothing will stop me assisting mankind. Okay, man and woman. Okay, that's what I'm here for. That's what I want to do, and that's what I have been doing, and that's what I'll continue to do, no matter if we have bullies involved or not. All right, it does not bother me. Okay. So we've had a little bit of a what do you call it? A gas problem. Not me, right? The actual house. So we've had to switch it off. So luckily enough, we've got like a fire to keep the place warm, but everything else is a bit of a challenge in coming to food wise and stuff like that. So I'm going to pop out now and have to go and buy some food as a takeaway, which is not a cop out. It is, we have no gas, so we're going to have to go out and buy some. That's my excuse anyway, and I'm sticking to it. All right, but I will keep assisting everyone else. Take care, and we will see you all later. It was very, very windy actually today. I would have went out and done a talk, walking and video on it, but I wouldn't have been able to show you the link for the the explanations on what I had been reading about a protector anyway, but also it was too windy and you wouldn't have got the recording would have just been too noisy and that. All right. So anyway, I will go, and I want everyone to take care, and we'll see you all very, very soon. Take care.